Hello contractors and welcome to the zone. You thought I was gonna do the same dumb joke I did last time. Well, you're right. AutoZone. Recently, Mad Finger Games has put out a juicy devlog about weapon ballistics, recoil, body simulation, and a tease of what's to come for the month of March. So grab your weapons and hop onto your little birds because we're dropping in the LZ to learn all about what was in Devlog Combat Experience. Ballistics. It's one of the things that most gamers may not think about, or it's something they obsess about. There's no between, but it's definitely something that's in almost every game regardless. So what is ballistics? Ballistics is the science that deals with motion and behavior of projectiles. In real life, we have gravity, air resistance, wind, barometric pressure, spin, and the Coriolis effect, if the shot is far enough. I'm surprised I could say Coriolis at first take. In video games, ballistics are often simplified to enhance the gameplay and make it more enjoyable for the player. Game ballistics might not take into account all the factors that affect real-life ballistics. For example, a game might ignore wind, temperature, and air resistance, or simplify these factors to a single bullet drop, much like you can see here in the Battlefield gameplay. Some games might also exaggerate certain aspects, such as the range or accuracy of a weapon, to make it more fun or challenging to use, much like as you saw before in the Sniper Elite video. So overall, while game ballistics are based on the principle of real-life ballistics, they're often simplified or modified to suit the game's designs and to ensure a balance between realism and playability. A lot of popular shooters even use what they call hit scan, which doesn't even take ballistics to infect, just point and click. And some games try to go for the realism, like Tarkov has a very complicated ballistic effect. Hunt Showdown, which is another great shooter, has very few ballistic effects aside from velocity, but a deeper delve into the ammo types shows that there's a variety of material punctures and status effects that adds a satisfying layer of complexity that makes it rewarding to learn and can give you an edge on the field. And that's why this devlog from MFG is so impressive. Now, while they don't show any of the external effects such as bullet drop or wind deviation, what they did show is something that I have never seen before in a shooter in an FPS game. Now let's go over some of the effects that impact where your bullet will end up and how effective it will be when it gets to its destination. But before we get into that, I gotta do the old YouTube thing and tell you that holy crap, 99.5% of you are not subscribed. I had a goal for 500 subscribers for the end of the year, and for some reason the last video kind of took off. From what I'm used to, that's for sure. And if just a quarter of the people who watched that video subscribed, I would have already met my goal. So, if you like this video so far, I would love it if you hit that subscribe. Let's just see where this crazy road takes us. All right, now let's get back into the details. The first thing that they show us in the devlog is various ammo types. The ones mentioned here are going to be soft point, FMJ, armor piercing, and hollow point. Each strike a different balance of damage, penetration, and impact. In the first image, you can see that they're going to be using FMJ to try to pierce through the barriers. And as you can tell, FMJ being a soft core ammo type, it has difficulties penetrating the sheet metal in various spots. Next, they show a tungsten core M995. And as you can tell from the results, it easily punches through several different layers of the sheet metal. And something to note here is looking at it going through the various layers, you can see how the trajectory gets more spread out the more layers it goes through. And here you can see the difference in the penetration with them both side by side. Now we get a chance to look at the temporary cavities that we're going to have. This is going to play a very important role in the medical system. We'll have a glimpse of that sneak peek here shortly. But let's look at some of the different ammo types and what kind of cavities they create and what happens whenever you put an object in front of your target. So what's going on here is that they have actually modeled a similar type of item to real life ballistic gel. These gels can show you the cavities that are created by the kinetic energy that is maintained with the bullet. This involves accounting for factors such as the bullet's rotation, the deformation, tumbling, and alterations in behavior after penetrating a barrier. And now once the bullet is deformed, it now causes more blunt damage to the gel. They even give us a small look at a shotgun spread at about 50 meters out. Now for the final part of the video, they show off another cool simulation that I have not seen before, and that is water ricochet. You can see here in the video that the operator starts with a steep angle, and every time he shoots it goes directly into the water. But as he lowers his angle and gets more horizontal with the water, the bullets from the weapon actually start to skid right across the surface. And that's not the only ricochet that they showed off. This is a gift from the devlog because there's no actual video of it, so that's why this has some bad quality. But however, you can see that the ricochets have different angles depending on the material. For the sheet metal, the angle stays really low, and the softer the material, the deeper the angle gets. Now, I finally have some context for this clip here.
Stay away from the walls.
The next thing that was mentioned that isn't in the video portion of it is recoil. All games handle recoil in their own way. Some even do a bullet spread or bloom that has a random determination of where the bullet's going to go. And it looks like Grayzone Warfare is going with a very detailed simulated recoil system. So with each shot fired, your weapon's weight will decrease. This is going to change how the recoil feels. So for instance, there can be up to a 10% difference in recoil control with the AR-15 depending on whether you are shooting the full magazine or you're on your last bullet. Now for another truly incredible addition to Grayzone Warfare, Body Sim. Our operators are going to have detailed human anatomy with organs, bones, and structures, which accurately portray injury-based cavities caused by the projectiles. Those same cavities we were looking at earlier are going to deeply affect your character. It will determine how much blunt damage, how much bleed damage you're taking, all of it. And they're also going to be addressing injuries with gamified treatments which offer logical consequences extending beyond simple cause and effect whenever you're wounded. Severe injuries like bleed and damage will affect your body and mind, which will also have an impact on your operator in combat. They even go into how injuries can escalate. They state that even a minor injury can lead to more significant issues, such as limited movement, worsened aim, and impaired hearing. For example, you could even make involuntary sounds when you're injured. In more severe cases, the injuries could cause blood loss, which could affect your vision or lead you to a coma from which only other friendly PMCs can save you. Understanding and managing these risks is critical to performing well in Grayzone Warfare. So let's quickly do a recap over that medical situation. We're going to have detail-oriented medical system that almost feels like a game within itself. It sounds like it will really reward players who delve deep into the medical system. They even mentioned before filling out roles in your squad, and you could have someone bring the majority of the medical supplies and be your field medic. I know one of my squad mates who is particularly excited to dive into the medical career for us, and I have a feeling this will give him plenty to learn, because I have a feeling I'm going to be the one knocked out in a coma most of the time. Another thing they went over during the medical portion of the devlog is the armor system, and it didn't go into too much detail. It pretty much works how you expect a quote-unquote real sim to work, so we'll delve into that when we get more details, or if we can actually get our hands on it. Oh, and the tease is we're supposed to be getting raw gameplay this month. I can't wait. Also, early access is still slated for Q1, which this is the last month of Q1 also, so who knows what's going to happen. If you watched this far, welcome to the end of the video. I want to say thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really will help a lot. And I'm not just saying that. What do I have, like 40 subscribers now? I quite doubled in my last two videos. Man, I cannot believe how many views my last video got. I hope this one gets even more. I hope you enjoy it even more. Trying to get better every single day, and these take a lot of work. But I don't want to just sit there and go point by point on what was said by somebody else. I like to do the edits. I like to do little effects here and there, keep you interested a little bit. But with all that out of the way, I am so excited. The more details we get, I just get more and more hype. However, be skeptical. It's fine. It's fine to be hype, but remember, we haven't touched this. We haven't seen the raw gameplay yet. We're all waiting. Everyone's waiting. Waiting for that to drop, and it's perfectly fine to be skeptical about everything they're wanting to go through. Everything we just went through, all this sim stuff we just talked about, it sounds absolutely insane. I don't know how someone's computer is going to handle all this stuff. I don't know how it's going to work. That's a lot of calculations. That's a lot of CPU power that's going to be used up. Maybe they found a way. I mean, they found a way to do the new rendering stuff that they have, which I haven't talked about, but I forgot the name of it too, but maybe they found it. Maybe they solved the riddle. Either way, I'm excited to find out for myself. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If no one's told you, you matter, and I'll see you on the next one.